Hi, I'm Emma, a 20-year-old college student from New York. My family went through some big changes. My parents split when I was 14, and I've been living with my mom since then. Last year, my dad, who I was really close to, passed away from cancer. He left me a lot of money in his will, but I couldn't get it until I turned 20. Well, guess what? I finally hit that age, and soon after, something amazing happened. One day, my stepdad Justin, who's in his mid-30s and has been married to my mom for 6 years, asked for a chat. Our relationship has always been a bit rocky. I try to keep things cool, but he hasn't always been nice to me. He started the conversation with a serious topic. He suggested that I give the money my dad left me to my stepbrother Michael for his college costs. Justin thought Michael needed the money more, and it seemed fair to him that I help out. I was surprised by his request. The thought of giving away my dad's money didn't sit well with me. I tried to tell Justin that this inheritance was meant for me, and it was important to keep it for my future, but Justin didn't understand. He said I didn't need the money and that Michael needed it more. Despite his push, I stuck to my guns. I calmly explained that refusing wasn't disrespecting him. It was about honoring my dad's wishes and keeping my boundaries. Justin got upset and tried to scare me, but I stayed firm in my decision. It was a tough talk, but I knew I had to stand up for what I believed in. I stayed strong, telling Justin that if he was upset with my decision, he might want to rethink his approach. Justin, remember, we're all part of this family, so let's keep things respectful, I said, hoping for a peaceful solution. But it seemed like that wasn't going to happen. I decided to end the conversation there, leaving before he could say anything. Justin's reaction didn't surprise me, given his past actions. I had a feeling he might try to take the inheritance money for himself someday. As for my mom's role, it's complicated. She seems to overlook Justin's flaws, maybe because she loves him so much. I didn't want to upset her by constantly arguing with Justin, so I've tried to keep the peace. It's strange being one of the youngest, but feeling like I have to be the most responsible. During this tough time, my mom Mary was out of town, which meant she couldn't step in to help. If she had been there, she would have been really angry. Justin saw her absence as a chance to push me around, thinking I wouldn't stand up to him. As I walked away from our argument, Justin followed, yelling at me and calling me a bad sister for not giving the inheritance to Michael. But it wasn't about not wanting to help, it was about sticking to what was fair. Justin and Michael seemed to act more like characters from a cartoon than family, with their antics resembling something out of Pinky and the Brain. Even as I tried to move on, Justin wouldn't let it go. He kept insisting I do what he wanted, bringing Michael into it to back him up. Michael joined in, half awake and confused until Justin reminded him why they wanted the money. First, it was for a business, then suddenly it was for Michael's tuition. Their story didn't add up, and it was clear they were just trying to manipulate me into giving up what was rightfully mine. I just woke up, so I'm a bit fuzzy, Michael muttered, trying to make sense of things. Yeah, I need the money for this university I'm considering. His attempt to justify using the inheritance for his education wasn't very convincing. I firmly said no, which led to protests from both him and Justin. Why not, Emma? He's clear about what he needs, Justin insisted, saying they deserved the money. We'll see about that, I replied, feeling the tension rise. Justin's usual antics were harmless, but this attempt to manipulate me out of my inheritance showed a new level of selfishness and immaturity. I decided not to involve my mom just yet, wanting to handle it myself, especially after learning more about their shady intentions. Emma, quit acting like a child. It's time to be mature and do what's right, Justin scolded, insisting that handing over my inheritance was the adult thing to do. His reasoning didn't make sense to me. And what, Justin? The right thing is to give up my inheritance just because you say so. I questioned, his reluctance to involve my mom making me even more suspicious. Why shouldn't I tell her? She deserves to know what's going on in her own home. Justin's urgency to keep my mom out of it, along with his unusually stern tone, only strengthened my determination. Something wasn't adding up, especially with Michael's supposed business venture. It was clear they underestimated my awareness of their tactics, and Justin's insistence on keeping things from my mom raised a big red flag. I got in touch with my mom as soon as I could. Hey Mom, how's everything going? I asked, trying to sense her mood. I'm okay, dear. And you? She replied. I hesitated, knowing what I was about to say might stir things up. Not so good, Mom, I admitted. Something's off with Justin and Michael, especially Justin. He's been acting really weird. Instead of taking my concerns seriously, my mom warned me not to let my imagination run wild. "Oh, Emma, don't let yourself get worked up," she said, but it was too late for me to just brush it off. Everything seemed to point to more than just a misunderstanding or me being paranoid. Knowing my mom might struggle to believe what I was about to say about Justin, I persisted, determined to make her see what was really going on. "Mom, I understand your feelings for him, but Justin went too far. He didn't just ask for the inheritance money. He demanded it for Michael, saying it was for education. Something feels off, and he even got aggressive when I mentioned bringing it up to you," I explained, my determination growing despite her doubts. My mom hesitated, torn between her emotions and the troubling accusations against the man she cared for. "I'm struggling to believe this, Emma. We need more evidence to understand it all," she said. "Don't worry, Mom. I'll find the proof," I reassured her, even though she wasn't fully convinced. The thought that Justin might have manipulated her troubled me, but I knew I needed solid evidence to uncover his true intentions. That night, I searched the family computer for clues. Luck was on my side when I found Justin's email account open. What I discovered was shocking. Emails between Justin and a woman named Martha revealed deceit. These messages hinted at an affair and discussed plans for divorce and a future fueled by money from a questionable business venture. Justin might have been careful not to discuss anything illegal, but his betrayal was clear. With this information in hand and a determination to uncover more, I decided to talk to Michael, hoping he might accidentally reveal more about their plans. I started a casual conversation with him, secretly recording our chat on my phone. "Hey, Michael," I greeted him, pretending to be cheerful. "Hi, Emma," he replied, seeming happy. "You seem in a good mood today." "Why wouldn't I be? It's a beautiful day," I said, steering the conversation to learn more about Justin's schemes and how they affected my family. Approaching Michael with curiosity, I pretended to consider the request for the inheritance money. "I've been thinking about what you and Justin said. I'm actually thinking about giving you the money for college," I said, watching his reaction closely. "Really? That's great. I'll tell him right away," Michael said, clearly excited. "Not so fast. Before anything happens, I need to be sure. This money is strictly for your college fees, right?" I asked, trying to gauge his sincerity. "Yes, definitely for my college fees." Michael stuttered a bit, seeming caught off guard by my questions. "And you're certain? What about Martha? Is she on board too?" I pressed, mentioning the name I found in Justin's emails. "Martha? Who's Martha?" Michael stumbled, confusion flickering across his face. "She's, a college advisor," he quickly improvised, but it was too late. Unbeknownst to us, Justin had entered the room silently, and his presence was imposing. "I don't appreciate you interrogating my son like this," he interrupted, his tone stern. "I was simply asking about the purpose of my inheritance. If I'm thinking about giving it away, I want to be sure it's for a valid reason," I explained, trying to stay calm. Justin's reply was sharp. "Once you hand over the money, it's no longer your concern. It's none of your business." His boldness left me stunned, especially when he followed it with a threat. "You're not just considering giving us the money, you will give it to us, or you'll be out of this house." Michael looked as surprised as I felt by his father's sudden aggression. "Dad, this isn't what we talked about," he started, only for Justin to interrupt, asserting his authority with a forceful tone, threatening my place in the house if I didn't comply with his demands. Opting for silence, I withdrew to my room, quietly recording the entire confrontation. Justin remained oblivious to the fact that his true character was being documented. Once safely in my room, I began gathering all the evidence against him. It felt like I was a detective in one of those crime dramas, piecing together clues. I had audio recordings and email screenshots, all revealing Justin's deceit and his affair with Martha. As the weight of my discoveries settled on me, I knew it was time to involve my mom. "Mom," I began, my voice tinged with urgency. "Hey, honey, how are you?" she replied, unaware of the storm brewing. "Mom, are you sitting down? I need to tell you something important, and it's not easy," I said, preparing her for the revelations. Breaking the news to her was difficult. I started by sharing the unsettling things I had uncovered. At first, she found it hard to believe, but when I played the recording of my conversation with Justin, her denial began to fade, replaced by shock and sadness. Why would he do such things? How could he be so cruel? She asked, her voice trembling with emotion. It's hard to understand, but we're dealing with someone who doesn't have our best interests at heart. I replied gently, trying to offer support despite the painful truth. As much as it hurts, he's not the person we thought he was. Hearing the truth directly from the recording was a turning point for her. This is unacceptable. I can't believe I wasn't here to protect you from them, she declared, determination replacing her initial shock. Stay where you are. I'm coming back right away. And yes, I've locked my door, I assured her. My mom's protective instincts kicked in, and she was ready to confront Justin and ensure he faced the consequences. He's going to regret ever messing with our family, she vowed, her voice filled with resolve. When she arrived, it was a moment of mixed emotions. We embraced tightly, shedding tears over the betrayal and the challenges ahead. But there was also a sense of relief and solidarity. Together, we spent hours plotting our next steps, prepared to face the situation as a united front. In the following days, Justin was puzzled by my mom's sudden return and her icy demeanor toward him. He tried to mask it with false cheerfulness, hoping to charm his way out of suspicion. But my mom saw right through his facade and was gearing up to take decisive action. Worried about Justin's shady business dealings and a potential misuse of the inheritance, my mom decided it was time to bring in some professional help. She hired a private investigator to look into Justin's activities and the mysterious emails. The idea of him planning to misuse the money for unethical reasons made her furious, and she was determined to protect us from his deceit. The private investigator's discoveries confirmed our worst suspicions and revealed more about Justin's scheming. My mom filled me in on the details, and together we prepared for what came next. It was clear that this wasn't just a family disagreement. It was about standing up to manipulation and making sure justice was served. In that moment, there was tension in the air, a mix of disbelief and determination hanging between us. Justin's usual confidence seemed to waver as we confronted him, his eyes darting around as if searching for a way out. You can't possibly understand what you're talking about. This is absurd, Justin attempted to deflect, but his voice lacked its usual confidence. It was evident that the tables had turned and the power he once held so effortlessly was slipping away. Caught in the midst of this family turmoil, Michael glanced from his father to us, his expression a blend of confusion and realization. Perhaps for the first time, he began to see his father for who he truly was, a revelation that seemed to shake him to his core. With a determined gaze fixed on Justin, my mom stepped forward. Not only do we understand, but we have evidence, emails, recordings. You've been planning to launder money through a laundromat, and you're associating yourself with a known criminal. Martha's history speaks volumes, and your intentions for this business are crystal clear. Justin's attempts to maintain innocence were crumbling rapidly. You have no idea what you're getting into. This is my livelihood, my business. You can't just intrude and. But we can, and we will. I interrupted, reinforcing my mom's stance. This isn't solely about your business, Justin. It's about our safety, our lives. You've introduced danger and illegality into our home, and we won't allow you to jeopardize everything for your own selfish motives. The evidence was undeniable. The audio recordings of conversations between Justin and Michael, the emails detailing their plans, and now their admissions made it impossible for Justin to deny any longer. With the camera still recording, every word, denial, and excuse was captured, trying to close in on him with no escape route. You think you're clever, recording this to gather evidence, Justin sneered, his composure slipping further. You might think you've won, but we're not just thinking, Justin. We're certain, my mom interrupted, her tone resolute and unyielding. What you've done is not only morally wrong, but illegal. You've put this family in danger, abused my trust, and now you're going to face the consequences. As the confrontation reached its peak, Michael finally found his voice, barely above a whisper. Dad, how could you? It was a question heavy with betrayal and disillusionment directed at the man he once admired. The room fell silent, the seriousness of the situation sinking in. Justin, stripped of his usual confidence, seemed to shrink in front of us. The game was clearly over. My mom's course of action was clear: legal proceedings, separation, and ensuring the safety of our family. As we left Justin to face the consequences of his actions, my mom and I knew the journey ahead wouldn't be easy. However, armed with the truth and evidence, We were prepared to confront whatever challenges lay ahead together. The veil of deception had been lifted, revealing a newfound strength and unity between us, ready to rebuild and move forward. I have no idea what you're insinuating. Why not call Martha? Maybe she can clarify things. Justin attempted to deflect, his panic thinly veiled by his tone. You two seem convinced you got it all figured out. Martha is just a friend, he insisted, though his confidence was visibly diminishing. The incriminating photo we discovered suggests otherwise. I countered, my voice steady despite the turmoil within. And honestly, who conducts affairs via email these days? It's incredibly reckless. Justin, now visibly flustered, retorted, you invaded my privacy. That's outrageous. No, Justin, what's truly outrageous is you, my mom interrupted, her voice filled with righteous indignation. How dare you repeatedly threaten my daughter over money that rightfully belongs to her? How dare you use intimidation to try to kick her out of her own home? Your actions are unforgivable. How dare you drag your son into your reckless schemes, putting him in harm's way? And your audacity to plan illegal activities with that money is beyond belief. Now, when it's time to face the consequences, you suddenly go silent, she continued, her words slicing through the tension like a knife. Cornered and desperate, Justin lashed out, get that camera out of my face. As he lunged towards me in blind fury, I swiftly dodged his attack, his aggressive move only underscoring the seriousness of the situation. Now you're thinking of attacking my daughter? Do you have any idea how much trouble you're in? My mom exclaimed, her voice a mixture of disbelief and anger. Defiant to the end, Justin sneered, you think you know what's going on? You know nothing. Well, let's see if the police agree with you. They should be here any minute now, I declared, watching closely for his reaction. Police? You wouldn't dare, he blustered, but his bravado crumbled as the sound of approaching sirens grew louder. Justin's usual smugness vanished, replaced by pure terror. It was the first time I'd witnessed him without his facade, revealing the coward beneath. Save your excuses for the judge, you despicable man. My mom shot back with a disgust that brooked no argument. And Michael, don't think you're exempt from accountability. You both will face the repercussions of your actions. With the police arriving, it was evident that this signaled the beginning of the end for Justin's schemes. My mom's resolute declaration hung in the air, marking a significant moment of justice for us. This should serve as a lesson about disrespecting my daughter and me. You're old enough to know right from wrong, and it's time to face the music, my mom asserted, her tone unwavering yet fair. Yes, Mom, I understand, I acknowledge, recognizing that I had overstepped and needed to confront the consequences of my actions. Come on, Grace, don't you think this is a bit extreme? Justin attempted to argue, hoping for some leniency. Quite the opposite. This is just the tip of the iceberg, my mom countered firmly. Emma, how's our live stream going? My mom asked, adding a modern twist to ensuring transparency and justice. We've got over 5,000 viewers tuning in. This is making waves, I informed her, astonished at the digital audience we had attracted. Just to be crystal clear, my mom turned to Justin, her voice steady, I want a divorce. That's right, folks, she declared, ensuring the livestream captured every word. The aftermath of the livestream was seismic. Over 5,000 witnesses watched as the drama unfolded in real time, and the story quickly spread to local newspapers and tabloids. Being at the epicenter of this whirlwind felt surreal, witnessing the swift downfall of Justin, my soon-to-be ex-stepfather, and his accomplice, Michael. The sense of satisfaction from seeing justice prevail was tangible. Justin's life crumbled as he lost his job, friends, and even some family members who chose to distance themselves. With serious charges looming, Justin faced the prospect of up to 22 years behind bars if found guilty. Meanwhile, Martha, his partner in crime, was also apprehended by the police after trying to lay low during the scandal. She too faced uncertain prospects ahead. Despite the chaos, my mom and I found solace in each other. Our bond strengthened as we weathered the storm together, emerging resilient on the other side. Weekends became moments of relaxation on the patio, sipping drinks and reflecting on the absurdity and malevolence of Justin's actions. It was a time of healing and reaffirmation for both of us. Good riddance, we toasted, sharing a sentiment of relief and closure. Indeed, good riddance.